Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so for the sake of time, I think we're going to go ahead and get the agenda for today started. So welcome, fellow alumni. Really excited that we got such a glorious day to kind of celebrate once again being able to get back together. Today's been a long time coming. I'd like to thank all of you who joined us in person, and for those who joined us virtually on Zoom, I really appreciate it. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Nick Siciliano, and it's my honor to serve as your Alumni Association president. As you guys may know, Alumni Day is one of our kind of key focal points for the year. So we've got a great agenda ahead of us, allowing us to recognize some of the great achievements of our fellow alumni, as well as kind of review some of the initiatives at the Alumni Association level and that the board has taken on this year. This is my first year as president. And with that, we've kind of launched some new initiatives and a 2-year strategic plan with several overarching goals. So I'd like to share some of that with you today, as well as progress related to those. So one of the big ones, and this is kind of near and dear to my heart, is really to strengthen and increase the engagement of alumni with students, faculty, the institution, postdocs, so that we can leverage our networks and our career experiences to be able to help act as trail guides for our students, our postdocs, as they start to take the next steps in their career. So we have a number of endeavors related to that initiative. We also want to engage and support current JCLS students and trainees to encourage their future commitment as involved alumni. So we're really trying to make alumni engagement, become more of a pillar and talk to students while they're still students about the importance of being an engaged alumni. So again, I think building those bridges is important, and it all really starts with, kind of getting together on a day like today, to have those discussions. And then of course, just elevating the presence and awareness of the JCLS Alumni Association, with the students and the faculty and the university as a whole. Some of the key initiatives that we've worked on this year have really been with partnering with college, faculty, staff, and student groups to support career development opportunities. So we've had a number of events, most of them virtual up until now, but we'll now have some in person, where we have alumni speak about their career paths and their experiences, trying again to act as mentors, offering themselves up as resources as students start to look at what's next for them from a career standpoint. We're having a bit of a kind of job fair in West Philadelphia in the coming weeks, so that students can see what's happening in University City with some of the new biotechs being launched in our ecosystem here, which I think is also a great opportunity for many of them from a career standpoint. Another big accolade here to celebrate from the university standpoint is really the fact that we now have an undergraduate institution, and being able to engage and welcome the alumni of the College of Life Sciences from Legacy Philadelphia University to our broader alumni network, and to recognize their achievements. And we'll be doing some of that, but really working to engage with them. I want to make sure that that's a key initiative that we all focus on. And then of course, continuing the engagement and support of inclusion, diversity, and equity. We now have a committee on the board that works specifically against those initiatives, as well as focusing on philanthropy. So we just had Jefferson Giving Day, and I'm proud to announce that we've raised over $2 million for Jefferson University for different funds that support the students, the faculty, and some of the programs here. We want that to continue to be a focus for alumni. Obviously, it's always a key performance indicator of alumni engagement, in that philanthropic giving back to the university. A couple notes on the specific committee actions. So Alumni Awards Committee. So this is a big day for the Alumni Awards Committee. We get to recognize some of our fellow alumni and their tremendous achievements that they've made in their careers. We now have 2 awards. So many of you are familiar with our Legacy Distinguished Alumni Award, which we'll continue to give out. But we've also added this Early Career Alumni Award. And again, that's also to ensure that we're more inclusive of our undergraduate institution alumni, and recognizing what some of them have done coming off their bachelor's degrees. But that award, again, both awards are meant to be inclusive for both universities. That award will focus on alumni who are no more than 10 years out of graduation and have done tremendous things. So we'll now have 2 awards going forward that we give out. We ask for those of you to really participate in helping us select nominees every year. It's been great, as far as the nominees that we've gotten, but we especially want to make sure that outreach continues. so we can continue to honor fellow alumni who've done tremendous things with their career. As I mentioned earlier, we also have the IDEA Committee, which is focused on looking at new opportunities that are inclusive of all members of the alumni community. One of the focuses is looking at the demographics of the Alumni Board to ensure that we are representative of the broader alumni community here at Jefferson. And then our Strategic Initiative Committee, they work on programming events like today and making sure that, we're developing new ways to connect alumni with students and postdocs and enhance their career development. We're looking at ways to better engage the East Falls campus and having some events there. So you'll see more about that. And then our nominating committee. So this is another one as it relates to alumni engagement. We have a number of board positions opening up in the coming years. And it would be great for anybody would like to get more engaged or know a fellow alumni who would like to be more engaged, especially East Falls alumni. If you could reach out and let us know, that would be fantastic. Let Jeff Spence know, the Alumni Relations Office, so that our nominating committee can reach out to those individuals and confirm their interest, and we can potentially get them onto the board so that they can help contribute. So just one request there. And with that said, I think what's happened at the university level with the East Falls campus and the programs that they're developing, it's great to be able to be here to celebrate that. And on that note, I'd like to introduce Dean Grunwald to give everybody an update on the university and some of the really exciting things that are happening here at Jefferson.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I know we have a number of guests tuning in online today, but I'd like to welcome our alumni, our friends, certainly our awardees who will be joining us so that we can share with you an update on the last year of activity in our college and certainly some of our future directions. And so a lot has happened in the past year or few, and it's great to be back together personally again to share some of the information. As you know, we are just a couple of years shy of our 200th birthday at Jefferson. It seems like only yesterday, just down the street from this corner, what was the Tivoli Theater on Prune Street, that was the first building, the first home of Jefferson Medical College, welcoming its first students in 1825. And 200 years almost later, we are the broad-based healthcare and academic institution that Jefferson is known to be today. And academically, from the university standpoint, the two large campuses, East Falls, our undergraduate home base, and Center City, our principally graduate home base. And what I want to do today is share with you information about the programs of the College of Life Sciences on both campuses. And so I do want to put the college in the context of the university with the integration of the two universities, the former Philadelphia University, along with Jefferson. We have become a comprehensive university spanning both the fields of architecture, business, design, fashion, engineering, health, medicine, science, and textiles. So in addition to the programs that you would be familiar with as an alum of our Center City programs, we of course now welcome our East Falls alumni to our family for this broad base of academic programs. And I do want to thank our university leadership. As you know, Jefferson is currently searching for a new CEO for the Jefferson enterprise. And so Rich Haverstick, we are very pleased that he, as a former board chair, has stepped in as the interim president to help guide us through this transition period. I want to thank, of course, our provost, Mark Tikaczynski, our chief operating officer, Kathy Gallagher, and another change that you might not as alumni be familiar with since your time, presumably as a student. We have instituted a provostial system, and Mark Tikaczynski serves not only as the dean of our medical school, but as provost of the university. And our East Falls and Center City campus now also have a chancellor who is focused especially on student-centric affairs in support of our students on both campuses. And so Willie McHeather, my colleague at East Falls, you see here as East Falls chancellor, and Charlie Pohl for our Center City program. So again, our thanks to the leadership team for the support of our college. The growth of Jefferson in the intervening years has been really tremendous. We now comprise, you see us listed here as one college among 10 colleges and 4 schools. with over 160 academic programs spread across the campuses. Between the university health system, we are a 32,000 plus employee enterprise. You as alumni are members of a group of now exceeding well over 65,000 who have graduated from East Falls and Center City programs through the years, and through the integration of campuses, bringing two approximately 4,000 student campuses together, now comprise a comprehensive university of approximately 8,000 students. And if you think about the trajectory of our own college, having put it now in the context of the broader university, as you know, we've been celebrating anniversary years. I will admit it's finally time to say happy anniversary because it really started 2 years ago, pre-pandemic. We had plans to celebrate together. If you look at our trajectory, you know that with the founding of the Medical College in 1824, it was not till 1949 that the medical college formed the Board for the Regulation of Graduate Studies. That was the first administrative home for graduate programs other than offering the MD degree. 20 years later, when the university consolidated as a university, we were one of 3 colleges at the time, the College of Graduate Studies, which I know some of our alumni will remember as the academic unit that you were a student in. And then shortly after I became dean, I thought that we should perhaps change our name to be more reflective of our principal mission at the time. And so we became in 2012 the Jefferson Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. And then shortly thereafter, when Steve Klasko joined as president, we had a meeting with him and the deans, and we realized, well, we've got schools, we've got colleges, we call ourselves many things. Let's all be colleges, and we can have schools within colleges and organize ourselves that way. And so in 2014, we became the Jefferson College of Biomedical Sciences. And then after the 2017 merger of Philadelphia University and Thomas Jefferson University, the colleges were again reorganized. You'll see how, leading us to our present form as a Jefferson College of Life Sciences. So the anniversaries make reference, the 70th anniversary to the Board for the Regulated Graduate Studies, our very first platform back in 1949, and the 50th anniversary in 1969 when we were one of 3 colleges at the university. And so although we had decided to celebrate, and then we have been unable to get together for a couple of years, but here we are able to get back together again. So happy anniversary. I think we can finally congratulate ourselves on the tremendous progress we've made. Integrating all these parts together, we do have a singular mission, and that is training tomorrow's scientific leaders today. And so this is a broad-based mandate that prepares our students for many possible professional careers beyond the academy. And so indeed, through our academic programs and our co-curricular professional development that we'll say a few things about, really our goal is to prepare them for their future mission for a broad array of possibilities, no matter what direction their future may take them. That mission is supported through our vision. And the 4 key highlights you see here are shared across all 10 colleges of the university, teaching to fields of tomorrow, curating personalized professional growth for each student, cultivating a dynamic academic community, and creating an outward-looking academic ecosystem. But the other points you see are really pertinent to our college, how we translate this vision for the College of Life Sciences. So we respect that we're training for tomorrow, as careers will always evolve beyond what we can even begin to imagine today as our students as becoming alumni and our postdoctoral fellows also being trained, move on to their later careers. We certainly value the competency-driven academic approach that prepares them professionally for what's to come. And importantly, that includes building lifelong learning skills that integrates across the curriculum. So one of my major missions through the years since becoming dean has been to break down the silos between programs, and I think we've certainly accomplished that. Every student arrives with a different story to tell us, and every student has a different plan for themselves. And so we do curate personalized professional growth through either formal individual development plans or certainly lots of advising, even with our undergraduates, lots of opportunity for elective space outside their major, and including co-curricular elements that are increasingly hardwired into the academic program for our trainees. The dynamics of academic community includes, in parallel with the university as a whole, the theme of programmatic research that again breaks down silos across department lines, across disciplines to really work together as a community with ongoing new program development that engages all members of our community across those programs. And all the while, if we've learned any lesson over the past 2 years, all the while paying attention to wellness and work-life balance, very important, not just for our students and postdocs, but for our faculty and staff as well. And we do this increasingly as a campus without borders, with a very broad-based outward-looking ecosystem of local, regional, and global partnerships. Our trainees are engaged in a great deal of community outreach to serve the broader community. Here you are today as alumni, and we'll talk a bit later as increasing opportunities to network with our trainees to help build their career. And of course, we welcome everybody as an inclusive community, always striving to increasingly promote inclusive excellence. I'm pleased to say that post-merger, the model has succeeded. It was just a year or so ago that the new Jefferson, inclusive of both main campuses, underwent a reaccreditation process. And I'm pleased to say that the Middle States Association provided us with full, unequivocal reaccreditation under our new model. We received full 8-year accreditation with our next evaluation taking place in the 27-28 window. A huge community of Jeffersonians worked together to achieve this. Importantly, we were not even asked for supplemental report. And in fact, I can say you're probably aware that mergers and acquisitions are one of the themes of the day, not only in business, but in academia. And increasingly, the academic community reaches out to Jefferson as a model of success for how to navigate such a merger. So having brought our various campuses together, I want to share with you, this is the current organization of our College of Life Sciences. We have 3 major divisions. Our undergraduate division based at East Falls, we established as the Department of Biological and Chemical Sciences. Here in Center City, all the existing or new graduate programs that you are aware of have been subsumed within our College of Life Sciences, within the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. Like I said, colleges have schools within them. And of course, we also are the home for our Office of Postdoctoral Affairs, serving not only what you'd think of as life science postdocs with life science faculty, but our Office of Postdoctoral Affairs through Lisa Kozlowski serves the entire Jefferson enterprise. So life sciences as a college has a very broad mandate and academic portfolio that spans all of these programs you see here. We now have over 24 academic programs spanning 4-year bachelor's degrees in the sciences on the right, including pre-medical studies, a number of graduate certificate and master's programs, as you see here, as well, of course, of 6 doctoral programs. We do expect to be standing up a number of new programs soon, in particular in the areas of neuroscience and genetics, where we have robust PhD programs, but did not have a separate freestanding master's programs. You'll see those coming onto the spectrum of programs here very soon. And of course, we also sponsor with the Medical College the MD PhD program. I've mentioned our postdoctoral training, our postbac program. So these all comprise the broad array of about 24 academic programs in our college. So as we've grown the programs, we've grown our enrollment. Jefferson as a whole has, of course, grown tremendously. And our College of Life Sciences today comprises roughly 10% of all Jefferson students across both campuses. So you see the 4 majors at East Falls growing quickly to almost 400 students in our programs. You see in Center City, similar total numbers, over 300 students across our post-bac, PhD, MD, PhD, and master's programs, and these programs continue to grow. So our full-time enrollment in terms of FTEs is almost 700. Of course, we have many part-time students, so the head count is much larger than that. And as you see at the bottom, we also are the home base for the training of 150 postdoctoral fellows undertaking their advanced training here at Jefferson. So if I were to summarize some of the highlights of the past year, I'd like to share some of these with you. You see at the top. And so post-merger, I'll show you the numbers in a second, but our life science 4 undergraduate programs have just completed 4 years of consecutive post-merger growth, achieving enrollment of almost 400 students from an original 90 students pre-merger. So essentially 4-fold academic growth. Our post-bac program just celebrated its first decade of operation. And I remember as its inaugural director some years ago, welcoming our first all of 10 students to the program. We now have 84 enrolled this year. We already have hundreds of alumni and a couple of hundred already having completed or attending medical school, as you'll see shortly. Among our newer master's programs was our genetics program that received full accreditation this past year. We're very proud of that. And I'll share you some numbers about outcomes also with our PhD programs. We did a 10-year retrospective study and really on a comparative national level have a tremendously positive success rate compared to the national averages. All of this growth, of course, you see has provided some challenges. So I'm pleased, good challenges. So I'm pleased to say the university has committed $3.5 million of capital investment to the College of Life Sciences focused on our East Falls campus, and I'll show you what that's being devoted to. And as I alluded to, success breeds challenge, adjusting to the numbers. And so that rapid undergraduate enrollment indeed drives the increased need for investment in more faculty and facilities, which is underway. Graduate program enrollment has growth opportunities that will require additional scholarship and fellowship investment, and full achievement of what we call the merger thesis. Why did we bring the campuses together in the first place? To really bring the full spectrum of opportunity across the programs. I like to say sometimes we're 8 miles apart as the crow flies. I like to say that I want them to be the 8 shortest miles in academia so that we fully engage with each other, but it's still 8 miles. And so we're still working on facilitating the transport between the campuses to more fully take advantage of that. But I want to share with you just some examples of outcomes and growth in our college. In blue, 2017 would be the last pre-merger year of enrollment in the 4 programs at East Falls that became our undergraduate programs: pre-med, biochemistry, biology, and chemistry. And you can see right away, we began to undergo a period of rapid growth so that as we speak today, the 2021 recruitment, we were just short of 400 students. We've had, as I said, 4-fold growth in enrollment. It's really been tremendous. And we have undertaken growth in our faculty and growth in our facilities to work to accommodate that. You see off toward the right that I've leveled off those numbers. As I've told the university, we are, of course, interested in continued growth, but I've indicated right now we have a 4-fold growth target for undergraduate programs. We're going to continue to grow quality, continue to grow diversity, continue to grow retention, and continue to grow completion. And I'm really pleased to say we have grown diversity. Currently, our undergraduate programs do represent majority minority students, and this is a very important pathway for students to our graduate programs in Center City. And we continue to enhance opportunities for those, what we call track-up programs from East Falls to Center City. It's important to say that those are our majors in life sciences, but because we teach biology and chemistry and organic, anatomy, physiology, as you may imagine, we service the entire university and the East Falls campus. And so what you see here is the growth in course sections, which would include not only our majors, but all the students we teach. The point is we've really had tremendous growth post-merger, really successful academic growth. Not every academic institution in the area can say that. And so we're really proud of our accomplishments. And as I said, we continue to recruit new faculty and expand our facilities and offerings to meet that. And I just thought I'd show you here, if you haven't been to our East Falls campus, please do visit. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. And if you happen to visit Hayward Hall, that's the main home of our science classroom and laboratory teaching spaces. And off on the right in red, you see the areas that are marked for new faculty offices and new teaching labs and new research labs to add to our existing facilities in order to accommodate the enrollment growth and advancement of our academic programs at East Falls. And as I mentioned, these are the 4 academic programs we serve at East Falls: biology, biochemistry, chemistry, and pre-medical studies. So College of Life Sciences, indeed, as shown here, has a dual campus footprint. And so you see a couple of snapshots of the East Falls and Center City campus, separated by, as I said, a straight line about 8 miles. And we do have increasing opportunity for students and postdocs and faculty to engage between the campuses. And indeed, that's what we called the merger thesis. That's why we did it in the first place, to become a comprehensive university. As you see here, we've already established new courses that jointly engage East Falls and Center City faculty in emergent critical areas like computational biology and informatics. East Falls undergraduate students are already beginning to conduct research, not only at East Falls, but also with Center City faculty. Center City graduate students and postdocs are able now to obtain additional teaching experience working with East Falls faculty and students among the undergraduate programs. We are already developing a number of new courses outside of our college, including with engineering, participating in bioprocessing and bioengineering. Our East Falls and Center City faculty are beginning to collaborate more fulsomely on research projects. And as I mentioned, the next last bullet, we are exploring what we call track-up programs. So for example, we just concluded a linkage agreement with our pre-med program at our very own Sidney Kimmel Medical College to track students up. And our science programs are in discussion with our graduate program faculty directors. A 3+2 program would be to integrate their studies such that an undergraduate after 3 years is ready to begin a master's program, and they complete the bachelor's program while they're beginning to engage with the graduate program. So for them, it cuts some time, it cuts some expense. It allows us to really think longitudinally about nurturing students from the very time they arrive at Jefferson and really help them along with their career. And I've already mentioned the tremendous enrollment growth that followed this. Given our experience of the last couple of years, I would be remiss not to mention, first of all, it's great to see everybody in person. I hope that all continues to be well with you and yours at work, at home, families and friends. And we continue to look forward to a healthy future together. Jefferson, of course, faced the same challenge as every other institution and organization in the nation. And we certainly were engaged with the twin pandemics of the coronavirus and social injustice. And I just share these opportunities to link, if you're interested, for more information from our website about our ongoing intentional approach to improving our environment and keeping us safe. I'm pleased to say that in Philadelphia the last few years, we know from the facts, our campus was actually one of the safest places you could be in terms of, certainly in terms of COVID during that time. And I know you're interested. I get many questions because we've been very open about our approach to keep the campus safe. And if you're interested, you can go on our website and look at what we call the relaunch guide, working with local, state, and federal governments with the cooperation of Mother Nature and human nature to keep us safe through this time. In terms of our commitment to inclusive excellence, I thought I'd just share a few of our ongoing initiatives. We have for faculty, staff, and student and postdoc training, we have a number of workshops we've engaged in. You see one example on the left that I sponsored. We continue to reach out into the community to make people aware of opportunities here at Jefferson as a career pathway, but also provide our students and staff with experience reaching out into the community and serving it. And on the right, you see an example of one of our pathway programs. We do have a summer undergraduate research program for college students, but here you see our summer science at Jefferson program for high school students that serves to enhance career awareness and opportunities and track students up into our programs. The success of our academic programs, I thought I'd just provide a few other examples in the last couple of minutes. Our pre-medical program has had great success. Over 90% of the students who continue to wish to track to that direction have gone on to doctoral programs, with 3/4 doing so right after graduation. But although it's called the pre-med program, it's of course a much broader based training program. And so you see here examples of not just about half going on to medical school, but PhD programs, dentistry, pharmacy, law, physical therapy, even veterinary, and other master's programs as well as PhD, even coming in to our own programs. Likewise, our post-bac program, which began with just 10 students, now has included almost 300 students that have graduated, and this year will surpass that number. And you see here the great success of those students, many of whom have already gone on to attend or complete medical school or other science and health professional schools. So again, a very successful academic program. Our master's programs in life sciences most of them are recognized as what we call PSM or Professional Science Master's programs, which is a national level recognition that it's not just about the scientific knowledge base and technical skill set, but about the truly professional broad-based skills that are important to any career, no less for our graduate students in our programs. And I've already told you that in particular, our genetic counseling program just received full year 6-year accreditation from the ACGC, which is its accreditation agency. So we're very proud of the faculty and staff in the program. We don't rest on our laurels, and so we are just about to undertake a period of review and renewal for academic assessment and planning. And you just see here the cycle we'll be entering of making sure that our college is aligned with institutional learning goals at the program level, at the course level, that we are increasingly competency-based in our curriculum mapping so that we are really preparing our students for the future career tracks that they're engaged with. Research is at the heart of so much of the opportunity for our students. I want to share just a couple of highlights there. I encourage you to go onto the Jefferson website and click on the research link, and it'll take you to a number of, this is one cover of one of those publications about the TJU research. On the right, you just see some numbers about our, almost approaching 170 million in sponsored research, about half of that from NIH, undertaken by almost 400 investigators. Importantly, they form the core of the training for our students and postdocs. And in part due to this growth, I'm also pleased to say, you may or may not know, that the university has just committed itself to erecting what you see here in this architect's rendition, an additional research building, the Caroline Kimmel Research Building, that will provide a home base for over 50 new faculty members to engage in research. Will provide further training and education opportunities for all of our students in life sciences and others as well. So more news about that as we go forward. But the university invests in many areas that impact our programs directly. The latest technologies such as cryo-EM, if you're familiar with that, to carry out the ultrastructure research, certainly timely in the current environment. Lots of work being done in our vaccine center and our immunology and microbiology department. You may have heard that we've just appointed a new director for the Cancer Center, which continues to expand its operations, and cancer research remains one of the pillars of Jefferson research activity. And of course, the integration of immunology and neuroscience into these fields are also key areas at Jefferson, all of which provides opportunity, again, for the education and training of our students and our fellows. And those students in turn contribute tremendously to the research effort. And I don't expect you to read this, but it's here just so I can say I really went through the list and counted it up. And if you look only at the currently active PhD students still in training who haven't finished defending yet, they're enrolled currently in our 6 JCLS PhD programs, they've already published 166 papers as part of their ongoing thesis research. So it just goes to show how the pieces of the ecosystem work together. Jefferson invests in the research enterprise, we invest in the academic enterprise, and together synergistically, we build this tremendous force, which we know will continue to grow in the future. And we look forward to continued engagement with the broader Philadelphia community and beyond. Can't say enough about our students and postdocs. And so some of them you'll be able to meet later today. But I will just say here that there are a number of student and postdoc organizations that brings them to engage with the community, both on campus and beyond the campus. And they are award winners. They are, the university recognizes them, such as BizBio and the Graduate Student Association, for the tremendous work we do. And we're very proud of their efforts. As I said, we are very proud of our outcomes. I know we have interest in this kind of information. So I just would share again with you a recent 10-year study we did, and you see the numbers, but I'll just quickly summarize. We have a retention and completion rate of over 92% success. And at the bottom, the national averages from the Council of Graduate Schools, the national organization, indicates that the numbers nationally are quite lower than that, including the national average in life sciences is barely 63%. So we're doing quite well in that regard in support of the retention and completion of our students. And our students go on to their own illustrious careers, either for further training or right into the workforce. Most of our PhD graduates go on to be postdocs, but our students go on to a huge variety of opportunities, not just academia, biotech, pharma, government, nonprofits, consulting, law, local and national government agencies, and we will hear an example of that later today in our distinguished alumnus presentation shortly. But again, when I say that we train our students for a broad array of careers, here you see some of the outcomes evidence that supports that. To conclude, I want to talk about you. Critical to all of the success is you as our alumni. The Alumni Association, as you know, was founded in 1969, the very year that Jefferson became a university after being a medical school for some 170 odd years. Len Rosenfeld, seated right here in front, and you see him pictured here. I want to thank him again for his vision as being a founding member of the Alumni Association. The picture you see at the top in the middle, that's the last time we're able to get together. And so you see Karen Schindler, Distinguished Awardee, Carol Beck, the Lifetime Faculty Awardee. You see Sonia Shore-Sloan, who received a special award that year. Sonia, you may or may not know, was the very first graduate degree recipient from Jefferson in the 1940s, got a master's in microbiology, and went on to a wonderful, wonderful career of service. And we recognized her back there the last time we were able to get together. And for all the wonderful things I've been able to share, there's always sadness too. And so unfortunately, we lost Sonia this past year. And so we miss her, but her legacy lives on as an inspiration to our students. And in a few minutes, we'll also be able to recognize some prior awardees you see listed here who, because we were working remotely for the past several years, we had to wait till today to be able to present them in person. And so we look forward to telling their story. And yes, at the bottom, that's me and my wife, Barbara. And so the point is to encourage you to take advantage of the many, many alumni-driven opportunities there are for networking with our students, networking with fellow alumni, but socializing as well. And maybe I'll look forward to seeing you at the next Phillies day or night, depending on which game we attend. But I do want to close with perhaps a plea to you as alumni. There are so many ways to get involved as a board member, as an alumni board committee member. But I think, to me, the most important thing is sharing of yourself with our trainees, with our students, with our postdocs, increasingly with our undergraduates, graduate and postdoctoral students and trainees. And that's through networking. And what's slightly hidden there is what we call our plus programs. And I'll tell you what those are, because it really has to do with professional development. The role models that you bring, the connections, the stories, the tales about how you got to be where you are today is so critically important to our students and postdocs. And if you're looking for a way to become engaged with us, this is always at the top of my list. And so, and we have ways to do that. You heard some from Nick earlier, and there'll be more about that as we go forward. But I do want to tell you why it's important, because it's not just a classroom, it's not just a laboratory, it's not just a bench, not just a clinic, but it's the plus part, it's the professionalism, it's the leadership, it's universal skills, it's the things that you bring to your jobs every day that you've used to build your careers, and that we need your help to bring to our students to enhance that awareness and opportunities for internships, for clerkships, for career opportunities. And we look forward to building those bridges with you, certainly as Philadelphia continues to expand its own future as a hub for the life sciences and other critical areas as well. So we look forward to working with you in that endeavor, because this is you. This is the growth of our Alumni Association. Just in life sciences, we have almost 3,400 alumni. We'll surpass that number, I know, this year. You see the growth decade to decade. And I know that the decade of the 20s will push us well beyond that growth in numbers you see every year. And we look forward to our future students who shortly, in just a few weeks, will be the newest alumni joining our community. And so I want to close again with certainly a big thank you to all of our alumni, whether here today, many of you I know who are joining remotely today due to circumstances, but on behalf of myself, the college, the university, our current students, our postdocs, our faculty and our staff, and our mascot, Phil the Ram. If you don't know it by now, When we merged with Philadelphia University, we got a nationally ranked athletics program as part of the package deal. And so Phil the Ram is our mascot. And so on Phil's and my behalf, I want to thank everybody, welcome you again to Alumni Day, welcome our discussion throughout the day, and certainly in a few minutes, welcome the opportunity to recognize past and present awardees for all of their accomplishments. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dean Grunwald. Really remarkable to see all the progress the university has made over the past few years. And I just want to echo Dr. Grunwald's sentiments that, as alumni now, we represent obviously a larger alumni network, but also a larger student body. And I think it's both a privilege, but also a responsibility of ours to do what we can to give back, right? So again, one of the big endeavors at the Alumni Board level is to try to facilitate initiatives to make sure that we can get more involved. So please, I encourage you to get more involved. You'll learn more today about some of those initiatives. And we welcome you to kind of join our committees. We welcome you to join some of the career development programs that we're, both the university and the Alumni Association is helping facilitate. I think it's really important going forward. So, and as you can see, look, this is relatively small turnout. But we're also coming off a global pandemic, and hopefully we've all hit our own lifetime quotas of global pandemics, which is one, right? But I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth going forward. So let's work together to make that happen. With that said, we'll now move on to new business. I can open the floor to any questions, comments, anybody, any alumni, both here or virtually, would like to share any ideas or thoughts about what we could be doing or what more we could be doing. Now would be the time. But one thing that I'll share is we are working on, and hopefully in a subsequent meeting, we'll be able to give you more details. One of the big initiatives is trying to get the Alumni Board more directly engaged with the student body, right? Just so to kind of build that bridge and build that familiarity. So Dean Grunwald has taken some initiative in putting together an innovation award that will be the Alumni Association will have to play much more of a direct role in selecting the awardee, engaging with the nominees. And I'm proud to be playing a small part in that and hope to give you more news at a subsequent meeting. But this is an award, again, that the Alumni Board will play much more of a hands-on role in kind of engaging with students and making that award. And I think that's, again, just another step to kind of building more of a bridge. With that said, if there's no other new business, I'll make a motion to adjourn and we'll reconvene at 3 o'clock to celebrate some of our fellow alumni. May I get a motion?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you very much, Michael. We're adjourned. See you guys at 3 o'clock.